Welcome to Ground. This is where I invite you to come home, become your own medicine, and meet life from your own stable ground every week, a little bit at a time, little bit by little bit. My name is Ro Marlen. I am a medicine woman in the European wise woman tradition. I am a medical intuitive and an embodiment mentor. And for the past 25 years, I've been showing others how to heal their bodies and fulfill their soul's calling. Thank you for joining me here, whether you're live or you're watching this on YouTube or the other places that may be posted. Today, let's see, last week, I spoke to and about ground, and what that is and what it feels like to be grounded, right? And what I actually mean by that. And today I'd love to speak a little bit about how we lose our ground, right? I mean, why would we want to be grounded? Or do we need to be grounded? Or do any practices or anything to be grounded, right? If we always have it right here, right? So I'd love to begin by talking about how we come into our bodies to begin with, right? And we're going to call and assume that ground is the material, the matter, right? That is that most dense vibration that we have and are accessing here on this planet. So I'm going to talk about the incarnation process, right? We, at one point in time, we were traveling across the universe as a light, as a star, as a soul star, and came here to this planet to incarnate, to have an individual experience, right? And to have that individual experience separate, right, from the light, from everything that is, we had to come into a physical body, right? So when we came down and entered into this physical body, or attracted to, drawn to, surrounded it at conception, right? We began touching and tasting, feeling, connecting with this plane of existence, right? The matter, the material. This small animal body that we chose, that we decided to go into, to incarnate and have this individual experience, right, has an inheritance, right? And this inheritance comes from all of the generations that were before. And it carries in its genes and in this body both the gifts and also hindrances, right? Obstacles of these ancestors, these generations that came before. So a lot of information in these cells, right? Now, as we come into this body, we begin to come into this body at birth, right? Begin entering into in a process. Now, when we're born, we don't just kind of floop, come into this body and we're here and then begin to grow. It's a process, right? We, big soul star that we are, bright and shining, very intense energy, have to come into this, again, small animal body little bit by little bit. We have to come in a little bit at a time, right? Because this body simply does not have the capacity to hold all of what we are, right? We have to grow into it through experience and through development. And so we begin, right, at birth, coming into, settling into this body. Now, this body has, first of all, this this information from the ancestors in it, and it also has systems, right? Physical systems. And one of these systems is the autonomic nervous system, right? We have lung system, kidney system, liver system, we have digestive and blood and energy systems as well. So we don't need to go into all of the different ones. We have different systems and they react and respond to, right? They react and respond to us coming in, and also the environment, right? Into the environment that we live in. And so when we have an experience, this small animal body, where a need, a basic small animal need is not being met. And this is not a want or desire or I'd like to have, right? This is a burning need, right? Of sustenance, care, being held, being seen. That is not met. Then we begin to form, let's go back. If these needs are not being met, that is a situation where you could call it where survival energy is being released, right? We switch into survival. If my needs that I need to survive, to live, my existential burning needs are not being fulfilled, then my survival energy is activated, right? And when that survival energy is activated and a small animal cannot do anything to fulfill that need, right? Cannot acquire what it needs, it will be felt and experienced as trauma in the body, right? And so if we're looking at energy and the physical body, soul coming into body, and the physical body's responses, we'll see that will then, in that space, in one part of the body, maybe a system of the body, there's a stuckness that happens, right? That energy body that's just coming in, that first one coming into incarnating, gets stuck to a system in the body, right? And in that stuckness is also happens a dissociation, right? A separation, or you can even call it fragmentation, right? Of a self that is not getting its need met. And through this then, we discover, or the world is teaching us, what we need to do and how we need to be in order to get these needs met, right? And at some points, it can be that they simply are not getting met at all. And that point get frozen, right? That point is frozen. And when it's frozen, Means the energy of it, the survival energy, this vital energy is frozen, and we do not have that energy accessible at all anymore. When that is the case, right, then we are not able to come into our bodies in that place. We're not able to. There's energy locked up. We're separate from, right? In that place, we're stuck out. And that is the part that is then, let's say, that's a place where we've lost our ground. We've lost that connection to who we really are. We have lost that point of expression and inhabitation, right? And that can stay that way for a very long time. And actually, through our life, through development, compound as more and more experiences come right on top of it. You know, we have experiences where that one, first of all, we have then a foundational belief being created right there in that place of trauma that tells me what I need to do, how I need to behave in order to get those needs met. And that then begins to become my personality, right? Not my individual true self, but a personality looking to get its needs met, right? As we then grow and develop and move through the world, right, we're doing so from a place of not fully inhabiting our body. And anything and everything that brings our attention, out and away is drawing us out of our body, almost sometimes pushing us, knocking us out of our bodies, right? And so we are then disconnected again from our bodies, from this ground, right? We live in a society and culture today that, just on the top level, let's say on the superficial level, in an industrialized civilization, right? Just that in and of itself, right? With the speed of transport, the speed of information traveling of us, receiving information from so far away in the world, right? Those are movements that are so fast and so quick that our bodies, our systems cannot process it well. There are events that we witness that we are part of, right? That also are trigger or elicit such a great and big response, an emotional response in our bodies that's so big that we just don't have the capacity. It's too big, we can't feel it, right? And so again, we move to one side, move to the other side. There is an acquaintance of mine, and his colleague wrote a book just recently. It was just published this year about our different selves and how I'm just going to say almost that I know of, every language on the planet has different sayings about how we leave ourselves, how we are next to ourselves. even in English, right? I am beside myself with anger, confusion. It could be whatever it is. And I know many more phrases in German, right, than English. But that is something we know this, our bodies know this, our conscious knows this, that we are not all together in ourselves all the time. Big emotions, overwhelm, big situations, big circumstances are here. And we don't have the capacity to feel the greatness, the bigness of this energy moving through us. It will very quickly and very easily, we're beside ourselves, right? Yeah, I love that, Joya, with the different languages of phrases live in our bodies. The Eskimos having so many words for snow. Yeah, so much. And thoughts coming as well, that even so many phrases for leaving different organs of the body and different parts of the body as well. I don't have a lot in my head right now, but I'll be speaking to that in the next few weeks again and again, with those things that we inherently know, how we hold emotions in our bodies, how they rule, yeah, different experiences and behaviors that we have. So when we have through those, or we can't hold all of ourselves in our bodies, right? Because we were separated at different points through this generational ancestral trauma that we carry in our bodies, not able to fully come into having these different experiences as small children, as babies, even prenatal at sometimes, prenatal at birth, as small children, and then as we grow and develop, right? This incarnation process, this process of coming into the body, is not just like 5 years. And this is a process that goes over your first 30 years. And a little bit at a time, right? A little bit at a time. And so in an ideal form, an ideal perfect world, right? Perfect parents, we would be fully incarnated, well, mostly incarnated at about 19 to 21. And then we'll actually have settled and matured and developed into this incarnation, by between about 28 to 32, right? So even in the best of circumstances, we're not even fully incarnated and here and fully capable of bringing all of who we are till our early 30s. Wow. With all the different little parts that have happened, us not being able to come fully in or being next to out of our bodies. We need to come in. That leaves so much or so little space for us to hold all of our experiences and all of the energy that we could access, right? All of who we are. We can't even right now fit into these bodies because of the contractions and constrictions that are there through these trauma points, these blockages, right? And so what do we need to do to have our ground, to regain our ground? And when we have that ground, we were talking about that last week, how does it feel? Is when soul is actually dancing through matter, right? Those impulses arrive, that intuition rises, and we feel that and act on that. We're not using or interpreting the mind, the thoughts that arise, and figuring things out, right? Impulses arise and we move into action, right? We feel that. That is what it is to be incarnated deeply, fully, and grounded. And so with this Wednesday class, we will each week talk a little bit about different parts, how we lose our ground, how we can gain our ground, and what it means for health, for wellness, for our lives and for the world, right? To gain that ground, and what it means to meet life from your own stable ground. So today, well, in this first month, in any case, we are gaining capacity, right? So again, these practices will always be foundational practices. Yeah. This month, we're kind of building on the one before. These very simple, very, let's say, basic foundational practices, because I'm also noticing in the times we're living in, especially after this past very traumatic, trauma-filled past year, right? For many of us, of isolation and separation, and even just experiencing the vibration of fear and panic and separation from so many, right? Even if we're not cognitively receiving that or feeling that, vibrationally, we certainly are, right? And there is, when there is that kind of vibration going through the world in such an intensity, we will receive that, and it will trigger our own, whether we're noticing it or not, right? And so we want to very gently notice our bodies and feel these bodies, and actually, before we even begin to try to enter into these bodies, bringing the energy bodies back in, or doing any deep grounding practices that so many of us know and also practiced, but actually feeling and orienting to this body, right? Feeling and noticing, not overriding the impulses, not meaning this is what I need to do, not thinking, not figuring it out, not directing even, but just a slow and gentle feeling to gain capacity, right? So that our nervous systems, our fear organs, right? That survival instinct and energy can soothe and calm down, regulate, right? So that is our practice today, and we will be taking it very slow and gentle and titrating a little bit and a little bit and a little bit at a time. So I would love to invite you a little bit over my time today, but we'll talking. And I want to invite you to let's just notice your body. I want to invite you to just kind of settle into where you are. Yes. And if you would like to turn off your camera, you're welcome to. Just know that with all of these videos, only I will ever be shown, when it is posted. And so, but you also, if you'd like to turn off your camera, I also want to invite you to really notice your body's responses, right? Really notice your body's responses. And if you feel activated, at any time, if you notice contraction, if you notice tension in any of the movements that we do, I want to invite you to just stay with or back away from that tension. What we want to do is move to or approach the discomfort, move into the discomfort, but not past it, right? Not past it, not through it. So to the discomfort and then backing away a little bit. To the discomfort, holding, and then backing away a little bit. So this is the way we want to allow and our bodies to trust, right? Allowing our bodies to trust us. So I'm going to invite you to, again, settle in to your body and just settle into the surface that you're sitting on or lying on, or maybe standing on. And just notice the part of your body that's touching that surface. Right? Notice the part of your body that's touching the surface. And now I want to invite you to notice your breath. And just noticing your breath, noticing without changing your breath. So without deepening or expanding your breath, I want to invite you to just notice where breath is moving to and where it's moving from. Where is it moving to and where is it moving from? And notice, is your breath shallow? Is it deep? Does it move to your throat or to your lungs, to your belly? And there's no right answer or right way it should be, right? We're just noticing, where is breath moving to and where is it moving from? So I want to invite you now to notice your eyes. Do you have your eyes open or do you have your eyes closed? And what's more comfortable for you? What's more comfortable? Eyes open or eyes closed? And notice how the rest of your body feels when you put your attention on your eyes and wonder. Is it more comfortable when they're open or is it more comfortable when they're closed? And whether they're open or closed, I want to invite you to know that you can see, right? You can see and sense our environment with eyes closed, just as well as we can with them open. Right? And so feeling your weight on the surface that you're resting on, feeling the different parts of your body touching the surface. And continuing to notice your breath. Noticing where it's moving to. Noticing where it's moving from. And now allowing breath. Allowing breath to breathe you. And how is that? How is that to allow breath to breathe you? Allowing breath to breathe you. And I want to invite you again to bring your attention to your eyes again. Noticing your eyes. And noticing how are your eyes resting in their sockets. Right? How are your eyes resting in their sockets? How are my eyes resting in their sockets? And now I want to invite you to notice, where is your head pointed? So where is your head? What's the direction, the position that your head is holding? And just noticing that. And now I want to invite you to notice, where are your eyes looking? So in what direction? Whether they're open or closed, it doesn't matter. What direction are your eyes looking? Maybe to the right or to the left, up, down. Just noticing, where are your eyes looking? And as you're noticing that, as you're bringing attention to how is your head holding, how are your eyes looking, notice how the rest of your body feels. Notice your breath. And notice your weight on the surface beneath you, the surface you're resting on. And notice maybe any tension or contraction in your body. Notice any tension or contraction in your neck or in your jaw. And just noticing. Just noticing. And keep returning to your weight. How does it feel to rest on the surface beneath you? Hey, how does that feel? To rest on the surface beneath you. And noticing your breath. Allowing breath. And not directing breath. Not manipulating breath. Simply allowing breath to breathe you. I want to invite you now to noticing in what direction your eyes are naturally taking, what direction they're looking. I want to invite you to feel into moving your eyes. Right? Bringing your attention to your eyes and just tiny little bits, moving them, whether open or closed. Moving just the very tiniest bit, maybe a millimeter, right? maybe 2 or 3 millimeters. Millimeters are tiny bits, just like an ant. And as you move your eyes just a little bit from where they naturally were resting, notice how that feels in your body. Notice how the rest of your body is responding to you moving your eyes in little bits. And just notice how that feels. Notice if you notice any tension or contraction or expansion. Just noticing. And if you notice a discomfort, if you notice a contraction, I want you to just rest with that contraction and then pull back. Move your eyes back to that place where they can settle. Right? And just very gently moving your eyes again. See how far can you move your eyes slowly and smoothly, and then bringing them back. How far can you move? As if you were looking out over a horizon. Looking out over maybe the top of a building or the top of a mountain, looking out into the distance. How you would move your eyes very slowly and smoothly, looking out over the horizon. Notice how far can you move your eyes. And when you notice tension or discomfort, then allow them to come back. And always noticing your breath, noticing your weight beneath you. Now I'm going to invite you to move your head, noticing where your head naturally is. I invite you to begin to move your head also very slowly, very smoothly, very gently. Just in tiny increments, moving just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. Noticing your breath. Noticing your weight. Now noticing all the sounds around you. Noticing the sounds around you. And again, with your head moving just to the point of tension or contraction, discomfort, and then bringing it back. Bring it out, moving, and then back. Just pausing, noticing your tension. Stop. Move into the discomfort. Stop and come back. Feeling your body. Noticing your breath. Now I want to invite you to take a hand and to bring it up to your chin. Just a finger. Putting a finger on your chin. And then just very gently with this finger, or 2 or 3, Take it as if you were touching a newborn. So very, very gently, as if you were touching a newborn, move your finger up along your jaw, just one side. And then notice how that feels. Notice your breath. Notice any tension or contraction that may be there. Notice your weight. Just moving your hand along your jaw, so touching a newborn. And then I want to invite you to explore here, exploring up to your ear, and then around to the back of your head. And always noticing tension, noticing contraction, not overriding, just moving, pausing very slowly moving, touching your head, back of your head, your hair, maybe up to your temple, your cheek, and always going down your neck. So allowing your fingers to move over, like touching a newborn. And explore your face, your ears, your hair, your forehead, your eyebrow, your nose, very gently. Noticing your breath, noticing any contraction, any tension. And when you notice a tension, just move just to that discomfort, waiting, and then may move back. But never overriding the tension. Just moving to it and coming back. Noticing your breath, noticing your belly, noticing your eyes and how are your eyes resting in your sockets as you're exploring and touching your face and head and hair. How is that? And again, only moving just as far as the tension or contraction will allow. And now I want to invite you to coming back, resting your hand or hands. Yeah. If it's comfortable and feels comfortable, then on your chest or somewhere else on your body that feels comfortable and familiar. And then notice how the rest of your body feels when you settle your hands somewhere onto your body where it feels comfortable and familiar. And noticing your breath. Noticing your weight on the surface beneath you. Beautiful. I want to invite you now to open your eyes. First, just a little bit, just a small bit. And noticing your eyes, and just opening your eyes just that little bit, and then noticing again how are your eyeballs resting in their sockets. And noticing how it feels to look out of that part of your eyes. And then noticing what part of your eyes are you looking out of? The top, the middle, or the bottom. And then as you're looking out, I want to invite you to look around and notice a comfortable and familiar object. And rest your eyes on that comfortable and familiar object. Noticing how the rest of your body's responding. And now I invite you to begin looking around very slowly, very smoothly, and orienting to the space you're in. Looking into the window, the door, looking to the different objects, feeling your weight, noticing your breath, and orienting, noticing how it feels to be here at your body and be in this space. Beautiful. Now I want to invite you over the next few days or weeks to retake this practice into your day. And maybe you can notice it when you're walking around outside, and sitting on a rock or a bench, being in your house, in the living room, in the kitchen, even while you're moving, and to take maybe a minute or two to just notice, how is my body right now? Where am I looking? Where is my head pointing? How's my breath? Just coming to those systems, those parts of your body. What part of my eyes am I looking out of? Right? Slowly, gently orienting yourself in this space. So I want to thank you for being here with me. For those of you who are here with me live, thank you so much. Those who are watching the recording as well, thank you so much. Right? Every little bit of capacity you gain, a little bit more that you are able to inhabit your body, regain your ground, right, is helping and supporting us all. So thank you. Thank you. And I wish you a wonderful week. I love you, and I hope to see you again next week. And this recording will be available, if you've got an email with a red button, it'll be available on my YouTube channel. And there should be an email with a link going out tomorrow. So thank you. Wonderful evening.